Today on Coach Stubb, I sit down with former NHL defenseman Randy Jones, a seasoned pro, dedicated coach, and true hockey lifer. Randy played 8 seasons in the National Hockey League from 2003 to 2012, suiting up for the Philadelphia Flyers, Los Angeles Kings, Tampa Bay Lightning, and the Winnipeg Jets. In 365 games, he recorded 113 points, 26 goals, and 87 assists. After signing with Philadelphia as an undrafted free agent in 2003 and spending the majority of his career with the Flyers before finishing his NHL run with Winnipeg. Since retiring from pro hockey, Randy has built an impressive coaching resume. He spent 4 seasons leading the Brockville Braves in Junior A and now serves as the head coach of the U18 AAA St. John Vitos, helping develop the next generation of elite hockey players. We dive in Randy's journey from undrafted free agent to NHL, his transition behind the bench, and what it takes to develop high-level players in today's game. Let's get into it. What inspired you to get into coaching after your career ended?
It's nothing that I really thought about, to be honest with you. When I finished coaching, I was forced to kind of finish with due to injuries, and so at the time, there's the U18 team was going on here, and I knew the coach that was coaching at the time, and so he asked me to come out a little bit during practices and whatnot, and so I did, and then started coming to the games and coming down between periods and whatnot, and kind of getting a feel for it, and then after that, I was really enjoying the other side of the game of hockey, and to experience that, and to still realize that you could still make an impact in the game even if you're not playing, and so. So I started to kind of pursue that a little bit more, and here we are.
Yeah.
Oh, well, do you mean how I became the start of hockey, pro hockey? That was I played Junior A in Ontario. I played with the U18 team here. Then I went to Ontario and played Junior A. Went after that to a scholarship to Clarkson University, and then from there. I signed in Philadelphia,
Yeah.
and so I played there for a number of years, and then played a few more after that, and then some injuries kind of took place, and kind of body started falling apart there a little bit in those regards of being able to play again, and so. And so like I mentioned, it was a friend of mine that was coaching this team, and he asked if I wanted to kind of stop down and help out a little bit, and so I did, and I'm very glad that I did so, and I have a lot of fun with it.
Yeah. What are your long-term goals behind the bench? Do you see yourself staying in development, moving to junior, pro, or even the NHL?
You know what? Ever since I got into coaching, I never really had any long-term goals, to be honest with you, Charles. I wanted to do it because I enjoyed it, and that's basically why I'm doing it now. There's not like I mentioned, there's nothing, any long-term dream that I have in trying to take coaching. I love where I'm from. I enjoy where I'm from. All my family's from here. I have young kids that are here, and I've done a lot of traveling in my life with playing wise and everything else, and so I'm pretty happy being home here and trying to help out some local kids here, and like I mentioned, I take a lot of pride with where I come from, and I never forgot home when I was playing away, and so the opportunity to come back here and try to help as much as I can some of the kids here to kind of live their dream, or follow some roads and some goals that they have in mind. It's kind of a little bit of my goal here, really, to be honest with you.
Okay. How do you describe your coaching philosophy, and how has it changed over time?
Well, it's had to evolve ever since I started coaching because the game's evolving, players evolving, life's evolving, um, and so there's parts that you learn along the way each and every year because every player is different from personality wise, the way they like to be coached, the way they like to be learned and taught, and so. They're all different, and you need to understand and build a relationships with the players themselves, every single player, and to kind of get the most out of them. And I try to be, a little bit of a player's coach, but also at the same time, a demanding coach with regards of expectations that they want,
Yeah.
and knowing where they want to go and get to, and having some experience of been there, and understanding what it takes to get there. So you try to relay that message a little bit, and sometimes it's, a little bit demanding, in a demanding way, so to speak, of trying to get it out of them. But for the most part, you try to be a player's coach and have a great time with them. In the end, it's a game. It's a hockey, right? And
Yeah.
it's a game, and so excuse me. And so you want to have fun with it, down the road when you make money doing it, that's when you start taking it as a business
Yeah.
and whatnot. And for now, for these kids, they got to enjoy it.
Yeah. When your team falls behind early, say down 2 or 3 goals in the first period, how do you manage the bench and refocus the group on a comeback?
Oh, good question. I think a lot of it would probably stem, Charles, from the reason why we're down or 2 or 3 goals. Is it because of lack of effort? Is it because of lack of focus? Is it because of lack of discipline? Are we giving up some special team goals? Are we just running around in our D zone? Is our goaltending really not on? Maybe in the
Yeah.
first period, giving up some goals that he would like to have back. So there's different variations of approaches that I would probably take to the team. It's to kind of pinpoint a little bit on where where the issues are coming from right now, and so of why we're down the 2 or 3 goals. And so, like I mentioned, if it's a lack of effort and the focus isn't there, then maybe a little bit of a motivational speech, calling a timeout and kind of give them a little boot there and in the bum to kind of pump them up. Or if it's a structural thing, you simplify and kind of just kind of calm the nerves a little bit. And so a lot of it depends on kind of how we're playing, so to speak, and where those goals are coming from.
Yeah. What advice would you give to a 13-year-old who dreams of coaching in professionally one day?
Um, don't ever stop learning. I think probably the day that you think you may know all the game and the whole part of the game and all of it, I think this is probably the day that you should retire. There's always changes to the game, and if there's some stubbornness or egoness that comes into play in coaching, and you don't feel like you could evolve yourself or learn more, then I think at that point it's probably best to kind of step away from the game. But always be open to new ideas, new strategies, new opinions. I think being communicating is very key. Being able to talk with your coaches and also with your players, and transparency, is number one as well. So that would probably be the biggest thing.
Yeah. For young players watching this, what habits off the ice make the biggest difference in long-term success?
I would say commitment. It right now, this is it's become a 12-month I don't want to say 12-month job at this age, but it's a 12-month sport, if you will. And so even if you're not on the ice during the off season, which I do recommend, kids taking time away from hockey, I really do. Players take away when the season comes to an end. If you want to do some spring hockey, and that's great, but take time away during the summertime, enjoy your family and other sports and everything else. But you can still stay committed into developing, into getting better. And that is with, if you're doing a workout program, that is with even eating habits, sleeping habits, cell phone habits, if you will, screen habits. There's a lot of the commitment part that you can do away from the game that that can really influence, when you are on the ice.
Yeah. In your opinion, what are the 3 most important skills every hockey player should consistently work on?
I always tell our players, even right now, that Connor McDavid is still trying to get faster, and then he's in my opinion, he's the fastest player in the world, and so he's still trying to get faster. Skating makes the game a lot easier for yourself, the better skater that you are, and so I think continuously working on your edge work and your core work and your lower leg work, I think it's very, very important. I understand that there's a lot of stress and importance put on individual development and skill work. And I do believe in that at a younger age. But the older you get, I don't believe in it quite as much. Because when you look at the game and how it has evolved and whatnot, it's a team game. And and so a lot of it is not individual skill. I think realizing the hockey IQ is very, very important. It's hard to teach, but it's very important. Knowing where to go and where to be, and not kind of having robots, so to speak, out there. I think that's a big important one. And obviously, just shooting. Everyone wants to shoot a puck and whatnot. And so you have those certain individual skills that you always want to work on. Until the last time you're playing. But outside of that, I think it's watching the game, working on that hockey IQ part of where to be, when to be, and just things like that.
Yeah. As a former NHL defenseman, what details do young defensemen often overlook?
I would probably say the importance of their D zone. In my honest opinion, I think it's when you watch the NHL right now, or even if you ask a lot of players, even at this level, who they'd like to kind of model their game after. A lot of it is Makar or Quinn Hughes. And if you look at them, they're pretty offensive. And so you understand that. I get that part of it. But a lot of times it takes away from them understanding how important it is to defend your zone as well. And so, as a coach, I always want to win from defense out. I'd rather win a game 1-0 than 9-8. But I think that's a big important part is you can still be an offensive player and still take care of your own zone. And I think that's something that a lot of times at a younger age, the big emphasis and focus is solely on points. And I think it takes away from, surrounding yourself with a 200-foot game and want to be a good player, an impactful player at all 3 zones.
Yeah. What are your 2 favorite zone entries and why do they work so well?
The first one I would have for a zone entry I like to do is a little bit of a 3-wide drive. So when we have the puck here right here, okay, I like to get the puck, even if it starts in the middle, he can kick it out wide either side. Okay, so when we do a 3-wide drive, so if we have 2D on the opposing team and we have the puck right here and we have it going out wide, I want to make sure that we have our middle drive, okay, coming all the way through and going hard to the net right here and stopping at the net. A lot of times what that does, it makes this defenseman make a decision here. Okay, so now do I go and I take this guy here? And if I do, I have this guy coming down the dot lane right here, okay, which will open up, okay, pushes this guy back, pushes that guy back, which will open up this pass right over here, okay, for a lane, for a pretty good shot right there, okay? If this D-man sees that and he wants to stay up a little bit higher, then a lot of times it may open up this middle drive as well for a chip right in here for a little either redirect or a short breakaway from the hash marks in. That's one play right there. The second would be a little bit of just of a cut into the middle and trying to have a little bit of a swing as well. And so if we're coming down, again, I like to have the puck carrier going out wide, and he comes it down here, he can cut in. Okay, when he cuts in, this guy continues coming down to the wide here, and then this guy reads off of it, okay? So if he reads off of it, okay, and if he wants to cut in here and cut in behind, draw a little bit of a confusion, okay, with these two D-men, okay? So if he can cut in behind, if he comes in close enough, he can drop it here for a little confusion. If he doesn't stay on him, if he does stay on him, he could drop it and may cause this guy to be a little bit late coming across for a good attempt. Or if he doesn't, then he can take it right here, get a quick shot, okay, on net right here when we already have a player there. Yeah. So I would say for that part there, especially with a 3-on-2, that would be probably my two favorites that I actually ask our forwards to look at.
Yeah. What power play structure do you prefer? For example, the umbrella, overload, 1-3-1, or something else, and why?
I like to change it up. A lot of it is depending on our personnel. And so, you sit back and you sit down on going, okay, what kind of structure are we looking for with regards of who do we have? Do we have a shooter? Is he, our top scorer, is he a righty? Is he a lefty? Do we want to set up on this side? Is our playmaker, is he a lefty? Is he a righty? We want to set up on whatever side. And so a lot of it is dependent on how our guys are moving the puck. I'm not strict on just one by any means. A lot of times I do like to have a bumper right in here. So we do have a little bit of our 1-3-1 situation right there. But then a lot of times I find at this age, only a select few are can actually utilize that bumper situation to the purpose it's supposed to be. So a lot of times I will take him and I'll put him as an overload. Okay, so I'll put it depending on where the puck is. So if the puck is here, I'll have him on that goal line right here, give an option here with moving it down low and also bringing it around, throwing it up high. I like to get some movement with the top forwards as well, getting them swinging, cause a little bit of confusion. And then also with our second unit, I like to throw something different as well. Maybe if it's a setting up on the other side with just an overload. A lot of it depends on how the boys are moving it, to be honest with you, how they're feeling it that way. If they're struggling, with passing the puck, then I'll just simplify it, going, give me two bodies at net, give me one guy in the half wall, give me 2D, get it up high, D to D, get a shot, get bodies at net, look for ugly goals. Yeah. So a lot of it depends on how the game's being played.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you walk us through a set offensive zone power play face-off you like to run?
Yeah, I try not to run too many offensive zone plays off of face-off. And the reason for it is I find when you actually look at the percentage of them of success, I find it's in the single digits. And so, to complicate the game when you're in a situation where you're just kind of looking for offense, I try not to complicate it too much. But if there is one that I do like is there's a forward, you have your forward, and you have your forward. Okay, it's just a little bit of a rotation up high here. Okay, so you get the puck here, we win it back. Okay, then we get into positions with an overload. This guy will go to the net, and this guy will stay right here on the half wall. Okay, and how this goes is this one takes place. D, throw it back to D. Oh. Okay, and then he walks a little bit. Okay, another D. Okay. Then he throws it down to the forward. He walks in here now. Okay. This D comes over. Okay. He throws it up to this guy who one touches it right back again, and then he continues on, and then the other D, when he sees this happening, he comes up over here. So it's just a replacement factor, and then this guy comes up, and then he throws it in for him, and he walks in for a shot. Just try to get a little confusion. So their top guy, it drags him down, and then it opens up this area right here. So eventually, it's the half wall guy that's getting the shot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If your goalie is pulled late in the game, what's your preferred offensive zone face-off setup?
The setup wise, it would be a forward there, have our D, and then a forward, and forward. And we're always thinking that we're going to lose it. You always want to be in a mindset that you're going to lose it. And if you win it, okay, then you get in positions that we have set up. But we always have a mindset we're going to lose it. And if we do, I want to have 3 of our 4 forwards jumping on that puck right away, okay? And then we have our 1 weak side D-man. Okay, he's hustling right over here for a hard rim to try to keep it in the zone. So if that puck is lost, okay, he's on it, and he's on it right here. And try to eliminate anything over here and force them up the strong side or cause a turnover. And we just make sure our centerman stays on our assignment right there. So that would be our basic setup that I would have on our 5-on-5. If we win it, again, if it's a face-off play like I just showed you prior, and or just a quick play here, a lot of times you just get some a little bit of movement in a winning situation where it's forward. Okay, we win it back in here. Okay, you get a little bit of movement here. This guy can come across. This guy can come underneath. Okay, you can come here, throw it to this guy. He continues on. Okay, and then this guy can just pop up. Right, this guy can pop up here for a shot. He goes to the net, and he goes to the net for backdoor for rebounds. So you go.
Who is the greatest coach of all time in your opinion, and why?
The greatest coach of all time. That's a good one. I don't know. To be honest, I don't know who would be the greatest coach of all time. My favorite coach of all time is John Stevens.
Yeah.
I had him in Philadelphia, and I had when I first went to pro. I was pretty young, and so I had a lot to learn, and he was great with me. I have a lot of respect for him, and he's still coaching now. He's in Vegas right now, and so he's a great person and a very dedicated coach. And for me personally, he was my favorite.
Yeah. Who was the best playmaker you ever played with, and what made him so special?
I would have to say there'd be a few of them. There was one, I got a couple of them in Philly. One was Kimmo Tiemann, and a defenseman. Very underrated player, very great vision, very high hockey IQ. Execute all the time. Very, very good player. Another one was Forsberg. He was another player that I could see guys all over the ice. And then Anze Kopitar in LA. He was another guy that very underrated in that area and a lot of playmaking abilities.
Yeah. If you could build your all-time starting lineup in any era, 3 forwards, 2 defensemen, and 1 goalie, who are you picking?
I would have to go with Patrick Waugh in net. On the back end, who would I take? Sheesh. They're putting me on the spot here. Of all time, I'd have to put Bobby Orr in there.
Yeah.
I'd have to put him in there. And another D-man of all time. Jesus, there's probably one I'm not thinking about, but I think you can't go wrong in my era with Chris Pronger.
Yeah.
He was a pretty solid D-man back there, offensively, defensively. Forward wise, I'm a big Wayne Gretzky guy, so I got to put him and Lemieux there.
Yeah.
And I would end it probably with Crosby.
Yeah.
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 That would be my all-star, even though they're all centermen.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you for the interview, Randy.
Oh, no problem. Thank you, buddy.
Yeah, thanks.